Hello everybody and welcome back to Ultimate Sims Guides. My name is Taylor, for those of you that don't know, and I am the owner of ultimatesimsguides.com as well as this YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some of the ways that you can make The Sims 4 more exciting. If you've been a Sims player for any amount of time, you know that you can kind of get into these ruts with the game where you play for a long time and then you just don't even feel like picking it up, and it can really be hard to get back into the swing of things and want to play the game again. And you may be looking for some small way that you can kind of, shake it up a little bit and want to actually pick it up and try again. So I've come up with a few ways that you can kind of make the game more exciting and try out a different kind of gameplay or a different kind of family. Just some things that I usually do when I'm bored with The Sims over the past 20 years of my life, because I have been playing since The Sims 1. So the first one is going to be to try a different style of gameplay. So a lot of people are players where you'll start with one sim, get them married, get them to have kids until they pass away, and then you play with their kids and you do a kind of legacy. One thing you can do if you are this type of player, you can maybe try a single sim who never marries, who may adopt a child when they're a bit older. Or you can have a set of siblings whose parents may have passed away and one has to care for the other. Or you can have a sim who's a secret agent instead of a career that you normally use, like businessman or culinary or any of the normal base game careers. People tend to kind of get stuck in these ruts with The Sims where you kind of make the same family over and over and over, and this can cause the game to become extremely boring. Honestly, if it's the same thing over and over and over, you're honestly just playing the same game over and over, and it's just, you gotta mix things up. It's a great way to make the game more interesting. So I definitely suggest to try a different style of gameplay. Maybe not so family focused, maybe more friend focused or more party focused, just try out a different way to get the game going. The next thing that I do a lot when I'm getting bored with The Sims is make a more complicated family structure. A lot of the time that I'll start a new save file, I'll have one single sim and they don't have any family members. They don't have parents, they don't have cousins, they don't have brothers, they don't have sisters, it's just them. And I find that this can get kind of boring and a little bit unrealistic. So something that I like to do is sometimes create a family that has aunts and uncles and grandparents and cousins and, distant siblings and all of that. I find that when I have giant families in my game, I'm much more likely to go to community lots and invite my cousins or my, just whoever with me instead of just staying inside my Sims home, which I tend to do a lot. This can also make a lot of the holidays in the seasons a lot more interesting because you can have, a grand meal on Winterfest or Harvest Fest and invite over your entire family, which really gives you more of that loving feeling for your Sims. I don't know if that's weird, but that's another way that I like to shake up the game and make it way more interesting so you have more people to play with. Another thing that I've done in the past to make The Sims more exciting is to create in-depth backstories for my Sims. When I was younger, about 10 years old, around the time of The Sims 2, I used to have this notebook where I would write down things that my Sims loved, why they loved them, reasons why they were friends with this person, and I found that it made me care for those Sims more and made me want to play the game with those Sims way more often. If you're just playing with random characters, you're not getting attached to the Sims, you're more likely to have their lives be more mundane and more boring and kind of just, living out the same day over and over again, and you're not really willing to try out as many different things to make their lives more exciting. If you take the time to really give your Sim an in-depth backstory and explain a lot of the reasons why they are who they are, you're much more likely to, do something like sending them to space or make them a witch or, any of the weirder aspects of The Sims 4. The next thing you can try is to try out all of the new content that you get in packs. Sometimes you might get a pack for The Sims 4 and you may think you hate the idea of something and never try it. For example, the active careers that came with Get to Work aren't going to appeal to all types of players, but if you have a pack where you've just kind of ignored something like these careers, you might want to give it a go because you never know, you might find yourself loving it. So personally, I have never really played through the detective and scientist career since Get to Work first came out. I just was never really into it, never really that interested, and honestly, I think it's really fun to have your Sims, you go to work with your Sims and really control every aspect of their life. Another thing I don't really play with also in Get to Work is the retail system, and I do plan on having one of my Sims, who's currently a child, start their own store when they do age up, because it's part of that in-depth backstory is that they've always wanted to own their own store. So I am going to play with those kinds of new things that I haven't tried before, and it really does help shake up the game a little bit because, you don't want to play the same game over and over again. The next thing you can do to shake up The Sims 4 is to try out a challenge. So sometimes you just need inspiration to see The Sims 4 in a different way, and this can be done really easily through using challenges. There are hundreds of challenges for The Sims 4, and each of them kind of give you a new way to experience the game. So like things like the 100 baby challenge or historic challenges or any of that. We actually have an entire article on the website with 50 challenge ideas you should try, and one of my most recent videos was 10 challenges that you can try, and I'll have those both linked down below so that you can see some of the cool challenge ideas that we have and things that you can try out to try and shake up your game. The next thing you can do to try and shake up The Sims is to play with an occult family. So a lot of players are unwilling to play with occults like vampires and spellcasters and mermaids and all of that because they might find them creepy or want to play more of a family style gameplay. But honestly, The Sims 4 has some of the most detailed occults that we've ever had. Vampires and spellcasters are, at least mermaids need a little bit of work. Playing with occults can definitely shake up your gameplay, make you see the game in a different way, interact with new worlds and new characters, and gain some skills you never really knew much about. Some of my favorite sim saves actually have a ton of vampires and aliens and spellcasters because I can get really bored with that regular family gameplay. And vampires is honestly one of my favorite game packs, and so is Realm of Magic. The next thing you can do is to make a super sim. This is a sim that's going to max out every career, every skill, and get every reward store trait. This is a great option because it's going to force you to try out just about everything the game has to offer while keeping one sim alive for a very long time, which will really make you build a connection with that character, and you'll kind of love them even more, and it'll give you that little itch to make you want to play with them as often as possible. One of my favorite series to watch on YouTube is actually James Turner's Super Sim videos because you have that one character and there's so many videos with this one person and with their family, and you just kind of grow to love them, and you can really do that in your own gameplay as well. The next idea is to try playing in a different save file. So sometimes we just need some new houses or characters that we don't have and that we don't have to personally build in order to get excited about the game again. A lot of simmers who make YouTube videos, they will have their own beautiful save file worlds, and they'll update the EA builds, they'll add new families. And a lot of them even give their families way more detailed backstories than EA does, which can add a whole new level of dimension to the game and kind of give you an avenue that you could follow if you so choose. 3 really great save files that you can check out are by Lil Simsy, Plumbella, and Simlessy, and I will have the links to all of them down below. And you can just pop this into your game and then experience it with a completely different set of houses, set of characters, and just it feels entirely different, which can really help when you get bored. Kind of in that same thought, you can actually make your own save file by rebuilding the entire town. So if you really are a builder and you love to build, you can rebuild all of the houses, do remodels, do townie makeovers, and just kind of give yourself that process because it will take a very, very, very long time. It can take honestly months for you to be able to rebuild every house and fill all the empty lots and create community lots and do all of that. So it could definitely be something where you can kind of pick and play and do all of that work, and it'll take you a really long time so you can't get bored. The next thing you can try and do is playing with mods and custom content. A little apology to people on console who can't have mods and custom content. Sorry about that. But custom content is really fun because it can bring new life to your Sims builds and your Sims. And honestly, if you really want to make your game more fun, mods are kind of like where it's at. These mods can really add crazy things that EA can't, like things like Wicked Whims or sacrificial mods like the Life Drama mod or Life Tragedies mod can definitely change the game up a bit. The Sims team has to keep stuff rated T for teen and is stuck under a lot of restrictions, so a lot of modders will create things like Wicked Whims or Extreme Violence where you can have a completely different style of gameplay where someone is a murderer or doing some other things that I can't really talk about in this video. But it can totally change up the way that the game is played and give you a new outlook on The Sims 4. And the final thing on this list is when all else fails, grab a new expansion pack. If you're really struggling and nothing above on this list really works, it's time to get yourself some new DLC. You can get a stuff pack, a game pack, or an expansion pack, and it might re-inspire you to want to play the game again. I know I always start playing all the time the second some new DLC comes out, and I'm just itching for something new right now. Cannot wait for Eco Lifestyle, even if a lot of people aren't excited about it. I am, because I need something new. So if there's some kind of pack that you've maybe been eyeing and wanting to try out, you should definitely grab it the next time it's on sale, because it can show you a different way to play the game or add something new that you might not have thought of before. Yeah, those are my ways to make The Sims 4 more exciting. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. And honestly, if you have any other ideas for how you can kind of mix up The Sims 4, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. It can really help out all the other Simmers who might see this video. I really hope that you're having an awesome day, and I will see you guys next time.